It's been roughly 6 years since the first foldable smartphones hit the market. In that time, the category has matured from a bulky experiment into a highly refined daily design. The template was set early on. The original Galaxy Fold established the form factor that dominates the industry, a narrow outer screen opening to a large square display. But that square aspect ratio creates a persistent problem for media. When you try to watch standard 16:9 video on a square screen, you're left with massive black bars at the top and bottom, wasting a huge portion of the display. The Samsung Z Trifold is an architectural solution to that wasted space. By unfolding a third time, it stretches the canvas out into a perfect rectangular display that actually matches the footprint of your content. You're looking at a true 10-inch tablet running a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, all engineered to fold down into a footprint that fits in a pocket. However, that hardware comes with intense friction. Samsung is only producing about 20,000 units. It weighs a hefty 309 grams, and it carries a price tag north of $2,400. The question is whether gaining a true, uncompromised pocket tablet is worth the weight and cost of adopting a first-generation luxury tool. Going from a 7-inch square to a 10-inch widescreen is a massive shift in media consumption. You finally have the breathing room for cinematic movies and dense documents that a square screen just can't provide. In mobile gaming, that extra width provides a competitive advantage. It gives you an expanded field of view that is physically impossible to achieve on a standard phone screen. For productivity, the widescreen ratio allows you to run 4 applications in split screen comfortably, or use Samsung DeX to effectively turn the device into a laptop replacement. But you have to balance that digital utility against the physical reality of using it every day. When fully open, the device is so wide that it becomes a mandatory two-handed tool. Casual one-handed browsing becomes physically difficult because the center of gravity is constantly fighting you. The tactile experience is also different. The rear uses a fiberglass material that creates a strange, static electricity sensation against your palms, which can feel a bit uneasy during long sessions. The 16:9 ratio perfects the digital experience for gaming and movies, but it severely compromises the casual, physical comfort of holding a phone. The engineering behind the triple hinge is a marvel. When fully unfolded, the chassis is just 3.9 millimeters thick, which is actually thinner than most standalone tablets. This chart maps the trade-offs. We plot the 10-inch screen in the high utility zone, but the weight penalty is severe. At 309 grams, carrying it is equivalent to a full soda can in your pocket. To protect the internal glass, Samsung requires a very specific directional folding sequence. You have to fold the panels inward to keep the delicate surfaces shielded from the outside world. Contrast that with competitor designs, like this Huawei triple fold. Its Z-shape fold leaves a portion of the inner screen permanently exposed on the outside, making it far more vulnerable to scratches and impacts. While Samsung's book fold method is safer, it adds mandatory friction to your day. You can't just flip it open. You have to be deliberate and cautious every time you use it. Ultimately, this mechanical design demands physical caution from the user. It is a heavy, complex tool that cannot be treated carelessly. That vert panel also provides the internal volume needed to house a massive 5600 mAh battery, a significant jump over standard foldables. The expanded surface area also helps with thermals. It allows the Snapdragon 8 Elite to run at maximum capacity for longer periods because the heat can dissipate across a much larger frame. Samsung didn't compromise on the cameras, packing a 200-megapixel primary sensor and a dedicated telephoto lens for high-quality zoom shots. However, those high-end optics require a thick camera bump. When you lay the unfolded 10-inch screen on a table to type, that bump creates an uneven balance, causing the device to wobble constantly. Accessing these top-tier internals requires a $2,400 base price, which often inflates past $3,000 once you account for limited global availability. You also have to consider the extreme scarcity. With only a few thousand units existing worldwide, the price reflects the difficulty of even finding one for sale. The high-end sensors and massive batteries explain some of the cost, but the true driver of that $3,000 price tag is the extreme rarity of this first-generation luxury prototype. Once the novelty of the triple fold wears off, you have to make a practical buying decision based on how you actually work and play every day. This decision tree simplifies the choice. It starts with one question. Is your phone currently your primary engine for work or serious gaming? If the answer is no, and your phone is just for casual social media and texting, redirect yourself to a standard flagship. The trifold is overkill for those habits. If your phone is your main computer, move to the next branch. Can you personally tolerate a 300-gram pocket weight and a $2,500 entry fee? If you spend your day in spreadsheets, rely on Samsung DeX, or play competitive games, you are the power user. For you, the maximum utility of that widescreen justifies the extreme investment. But if you just want a big screen for casual reading or movies, the trade-offs are a poor investment. You are a premium pragmatist, and you belong on a standard foldable. A standard Fold 6 or 7 is a much better choice for most people because it avoids the sheer physical fatigue that comes with a 309-gram device. The trifold proves that a phone can legitimately replace a laptop in your pocket, but the current iteration is an intense lifestyle commitment. Purchase the trifold based strictly on your tolerance for physical and financial bulk, not just the desire for a larger screen.